I am the executive director for the Chamiza Foundation, which is a small family foundation in Santa Fe. We provide funding for cultural preservation projects to the pueblos in New Mexico and the one pueblo in El Paso, Texas, Isleta del Sur.
How are you finding the conference?
It's been enjoyable. I've learned a lot.
What have you picked up that intersects with what you do?
Oh gosh. I guess just learning about the preservation of all of the buildings, just the history. I predominantly know more about Pueblo history than like the history of other communities surrounding like my own community of Taos Pueblo. And so it's been interesting to kind of see or hear about the history in Las Vegas, Mora, and surrounding communities, and kind of connect it with my own pueblos and the pueblos I work with. So the one we're going to have right now with Dr. Hahola on the Center 7 Generations of Planning is really one that I want to hear about. Also the one with this Mr. Uvina, Professor Uvina from yesterday was pretty interesting as well with the students. I like to hear about the work that they do at UNM. I'm also a graduate of the Community Regional Planning Program at the School for Architecture and Planning at UNM, so whenever I hear what they're doing, it's very nice to hear them, what they're doing. I wish the conference had more maybe tribal representation, more examples of preservation from our tribal communities. Would have been nice. A lot of the preservation that happens outside of tribal communities is focused on maybe like, for example, they were talking about homes becoming museums, and nobody lives there. It's just there to be shown. Preservation in our tribal communities happens while real life is happening. People are still living in our traditional villages, so it's more of regular upkeep and maintenance. Even though our homes are considered, places of historic preservation, we still live in our communities, so that's what the big difference is. 90% of homes in Taos Pueblo are adobe. Yeah. I mean, if you look at our historic structure that's still standing, and I think the highest structure there is about 5 stories high, 5 or 6 stories high, and that's all adobe. We do have a Taos Pueblo preservation program that works to preserve our buildings, and also families, they around feast day, which is September 30th, all the families come out and plaster their homes. I would say that it just within the family, they try to get the younger generations involved in plastering activities that happen, like I said, on September 30th around, because whenever there's a celebration at someone's home, you start cleaning up and getting ready for the event, and so the plastering takes place then. I know in some of so for the Chamiza Foundation, we support projects that have to do with things like plastering. So if there was a pueblo that wanted to start a program that showed young people how to plaster, we would support something like that. And so through programs like that is how also the younger generation learn how to plaster as well. Chamiza Foundation, I believe, was first named after the Chamiza plant, which is spelled Chamisa, and it's kind of a funny story. So the creators of the foundation, they sent the paperwork off to Washington, D.C. for it to get established as a foundation, and someone in D.C. spelled Chamiza wrong. They spelled it with a Z, and instead of fixing it, they just kept it.